What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., the economy, everything you need to know about money, investing, the stock market. If you're new to our YouTube channel, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here every day on our YouTube channel, 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. We got a lot to talk about here. President Biden is urging Congress for for a new stimulus package that could include new stimulus checks. We're going to be talking about that, as well as several different things here. Let's jump right in. Check this out. Number one is there's more than 14 tons of Oregon ground beef that has been recalled, that is affecting multiple different states for possible E. coli contamination that actually could be in your home right now. Here is the details. More than 14 tons of Oregon ground beef was recalled for possible E. coli contamination on Thursday. The USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service announced the Interstate Meat Distributors Incorporation recalled 28,356 pounds of ground beef products. The meat was produced on December 20th and could be in stores in Arizona, California, Nevada, Oregon, Utah, Washington State, and Wyoming. Yeah, so if you're in any of those states, the way to check your meat here, as you can see here on the screen, the recalled products from the Oregon company have the Bear Establishment Number EST965 on the packaging. EST965 on the packaging. Yeah, E. coli can cause 2 to 8 days of dehydration, bloody diarrhea, and abdominal cramps, and in rare cases, exposure can lead to death. So if you're in any of those states and you've bought ground beef, you might want to check it for that label. The agency is concerned the products are in the homes of consumers and advise people to check the packaging and throw it away, or maybe take it back to the grocery store for a refund. The Supreme Court has heard arguments on the case for the vaccine mandates that will affect over 100 million Americans from President Biden's vaccine mandates for the businesses that have over 100 employees. And as you can see from this headline from CNN, which is a typically Democrat leading news station, Supreme Court appears poised to block Biden's vaccine and testing rules. Now, this is just kind of, it hasn't been decided on yet, but they're thinking that they could be leaning that way. Now, remember, right now there are 6 Republican judges on the Supreme Court and 3 Democratic judges. And the 6 Republican judges have been appointed by 6 former Republican presidents. Former President Donald Trump actually appointed 3 of them when Mitch McConnell changed the rules to change the filibuster actually to change it from 60 votes down to 51 votes. And that's right, they changed the filibuster for that. And they're thinking about changing the filibuster again now in the Senate for voting rights and possibly even more going forward here. And right now there's 6 Republicans on the Supreme Court and 3 Democrats. Although up until this point, the Supreme Court has actually been upholding the majority of vaccine mandates. But if they rule against this one, it would be a huge blow to President Biden's agenda. And this is really the big one because this is the biggest vaccine mandate. This is the biggest case. And a lot of opinion think right now that the Republican majority in the Supreme Court may rule against the Democratic president, President Biden. Time will tell. We could have a ruling as early as today. I will keep you updated. Obviously, this will be a major, major deal because this is a vaccine mandate. The buck stops with the Supreme Court. That doesn't mean that we could have some new mandates after this, but this would be a significant, significant ruling. Also, something very interesting. Check this out. For the first time, 7 of the 9 judges appeared in the chamber wearing masks. This is important because we're dealing with vaccine mandates here. Though Justice Neil Garouche chose not to and appeared there without a mask. And that kind of gives you some thought into how they may rule as well. Before the arguments began, the court announced that Justice Sonia Sotomayor, who has diabetes, would hear arguments remotely and did not appear in person from her chambers, even though a spokesperson said she was not ill. So she didn't even want to appear in person. We're all dealing with this pandemic, so that kind of gives you a little bit of a little bit of thought process of how they're thinking, a little bit of insight into what's going on here. 2 of the lawyers representing states challenging the rules were not present due to COVID protocols, literally testing positive, couldn't even appear in the courtroom. As if you can't make this stuff up. Ohio Solicitor General Benjamin Flowers, who is vaccinated, contracted the virus after Christmas and has fully recovered, state officials said. However, the PCR test required to enter the courtroom detected the virus still, and he couldn't enter because he apparently still has the virus in his system. A ruling on the state of the mandates could come in short order. And I will keep you up to date here. As soon as we get more news, I will keep you up to date. Also, Moderna CEO says that people may need a 4th virus vaccine jab booster coming this fall, as the efficacy of the current booster likely wanes over time. Some Americans in the US have already gotten 4th boosters. If they're immunocompromised, they have the choice to get a 4th booster. Other countries are already administering 4th boosters as well. Moderna CEO Stéphane Bancel said people may need a 4th vaccine shot in the fall of 2022 to boost their protection against the virus. Speaking at Goldman Sachs conference on Thursday, Bancel said current boosters are likely to protect people through this winter amid the surge of the Omicron virus variant, but their efficacy will probably wane in the months ahead. He said, quote, "I would expect that it's not gonna hold great," Bancel said of the booster over time. Quote, "I still believe we're going to need boosters in the fall of 2022 and forward," which kind of makes me think that this is something I've thought a long time. It's going to be similar to flu shots, where you get them once per year, and it is looking more and more likely that it's going to be like that. And the Moderna CEO is kind of confirming that. Just like the flu shot, you don't get a flu shot one time and it protects you from the flu virus forever. That's just how it works. You can let me know your thoughts. I've kind of thought that for a long time here. Looks like it's heading that way. Of course, you may or may not want to do that, or it's your choice. It just seems like it's going in that direction. You can let me know your thoughts if you think I'm on the right track. But 3rd booster shots and 4th booster shots, probably just going to turn into similar to flu shots, or likely to, however you want to say it. And the Moderna CEO is kind of saying that now there's likely going to be a 4th booster shot in the fall of 2022. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Meanwhile, we have multiple different areas sending out stimulus checks and stimulus checks going out to several different cities and areas. Universal basic income. You can see here this article from yesterday evening. New stimulus checks and other payments worth up to $1,100 will be sent out this year. Newark, New Jersey recently expanded its UBI program to 400 residents. As a result, a total of $12,000 will be given to each resident throughout the program over 2 years. Half of the program's participants will receive $250 bi-weekly. According to a statement by the city, remaining half will receive two payments of $3,000 each year. Each participant will be over the age of 18, make an income at or below 200% of the federal poverty line, and prove a hardship due to the pandemic. Rochester, New York, a similar program launching in Rochester, New York, aims to provide $500 payments to 175 low-income families for the first 12 months. That's $500 per month for 12 months. These are universal basic income programs or guaranteed income programs that basically pay families every single month. In the following year, a different set of 175 families in Rochester, New York would get $500 per month payments for a total of 350 residents in line for automated payments over the next 2 years. The guaranteed income program would cost $2.2 million and be paid for using some of the funds from the American Rescue Plan. The latest figures from the U.S. Census Bureau show that 31% of Rochester City residents are living in poverty. Wow, that's almost a third of all the residents. They need to step up the program and send that out to more people. A lot of these programs, they start off with a couple hundred people, and then they expand it as the program, as they find out the programs are doing well. So hopefully they continue to expand these programs. Remember, there's dozens and dozens of these cities going on here. These are just kind of the latest ones that are available. Or just starting here. In Durham, North Carolina, 115 previously incarcerated residents will be chosen for the city's Excel pilot program and will send $500 payments per month for a year. Eligible participants must be at least 18 years old and must live in the city of Durham. There's no requirement to work, but if you earn the income, it must be no more than 60% of the area's median income. In California, the state stimulus checks, the Golden State stimulus, are still going out. They're sending out another round of payments here and will continue through January 11th, 2022. The checks have been mailed out according to zip code. This is the last round of checks that are going out here to qualifying residents who live in an area with a zip code ending in 928 through 999. The tax board said those who receive a paper check should expect it to take up to 3 weeks once they are sent. To qualify, you must have an income under $75,000 to get a $600 check or a $1,100 check with children. Also note here, it says if Social Security is your only form of income, you will not receive a payment, although because you need earned income. So unfortunately, that does not count. Although I did see some comments from some people in the comment section that SSI income did qualify. Some people in the comment section did mention that. I do want to mention this here, as you can kind of see here. You had to have filed your tax return by October 15th in order to qualify for stimulus checks. But what I want to mention here is this website here that I will put down below in the comments section. Mental note to myself. Hopefully I don't forget to include this. Yeah. Don't forget, Jimmy. I want to put this here. This is kind of a help page for anybody that hasn't got their Golden State stimulus check. There's probably a lot of people here, and you can share this link with them, or maybe you can Google this if I forget the link, but I won't forget the link. Help with the Golden State stimulus. I'll put this link down below in the description of this video. The description is down below here. You may have to click the little down arrow next to the title to open up the description. I know it's kind of hidden and kind of hard to find. But down here below here is a helpline that you can call for California to contact them about the Golden State stimulus, or you can just call this number for weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. Let me zoom this in. If you're missing your Golden State stimulus check and you're not in that last batch that's going out here with your zip code that I showed on the screen, the phone number to call is 1 800 852 5711. There's the phone number right on the screen. Write it down, 1 800 852 5711. They're open weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I assume that's California time. If you haven't got your Golden State stimulus check and you did file a Golden State or a California state stimulus, I'm sorry, if you did file a Golden, let's try this again. If you did file a California state tax return for 2020, yeah, 2020, it's based on your 20, I believe it's 2020 tax returns. I think it's 2020. They might go off 2019 as well. But again, if you have any questions about it, call them and say, hey, I didn't get my California state stimulus check. Call them and say, hey, where is it? Where is it? Obviously, the other big news here is that President Biden is asking to, or going to ask Congress for more money to tackle the pandemic, more stimulus money to tackle the virus. The White House press secretary said, quote, we did a major relief package that included helping restaurants just last year. White House press secretary Jen Psaki said during a press briefing this week. We are in constant discussions with Congress and leadership about the needs of the American people, whether they are a small business or restaurants or people sitting in their homes as we continue to fight the pandemic. And this is in direct correlation to President Biden planning to ask Congress for more stimulus money to tackle the pandemic as the Omicron variant rages on. And we're starting to see a lot of talk and a lot of headlines like this, why the new virus stimulus checks could come soon. Democrats and Republicans are discussing new COVID stimulus checks. And Congress and now Biden, two different stimulus packages being discussed here basically within the last 24 hours. And it makes sense because of how bad the virus is, how bad the virus cases are. So we have a lot being talked about. And I mean, we have millions of people quarantining right now. It's really, really bad out there. The virus is all-time high new cases. And we're going to have this Supreme Court justice ruling here potentially today. We'll have to see how fast they do this. This is going to be a major, major thing here for the U.S. because it affects people that are essentially, it's a mandate, people that are being forced to get this. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens here. Let me know what you think is going to happen here. What's interesting is, there's 6 Republicans on the court, 3 Democrats on the court, but so far the Supreme Court has been upholding all the mandate decisions that they have had sent to them. But this is the really, really big one. This is where they could make a change. So far, the headlines we're seeing and the kind of opinions. I mean, it's gonna now remember that when Supreme Court, and remember they rule on an opinion. When we're gonna see a decision here, a lot of times we see decisions come down and it's like 5-4 or 6-3. Remember, there's 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Okay, so it's not like a clear cut thing here. It's not like 9-0 that we ever see here. They rule on their opinion. As crazy as that sounds, it's not like, oh, the law says this, so everybody rules yes or everybody rules no. They all rule based on their interpretation of the law, their opinion of the law. And that's why when this comes back, it's going to be a decision that says like 5 yeses, 4 no's or 6 no's and 3 yeses. They're going to rule on their opinion of the law, their interpretation of the law. And that's why when we talk about, um, former President Donald Trump appointing 3 Supreme Court justices for life, and they sit on there for 40 or 50 years, or Biden appointing Supreme Court justices, which he hasn't done yet, or Democrats or Republicans, they get to appoint a Supreme Court justice and they sit there for life. We we think about presidents get to serve like 1 term for 4 years or 2 terms for 8 years, and then their term limits. And Congress doesn't have term limits, but they have to get reelected every 2 years in the House of Representatives or every 6 years in the Senate, but at least they have to get reelected. When it comes to the Supreme Court justices, the president basically nominates them, and then they just get appointed by the Supreme Court, and they basically just get put in. They don't really get voted on per se by the people. And then they stay in there for life and they make these major, major decisions, and they stay there forever till they pass away. And they make these major, major decisions that affect hundreds of millions of Americans. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens here. This is a really, really big case, a major, major milestone case that is going to decide potentially a huge, huge milestone in this pandemic. So I will keep you up to date on what's going to happen here, potentially here today. So don't miss any new videos. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, so you don't miss any new videos, which come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can click here to watch my newest video, which just approved $4.5 billion in new money that you can claim. You definitely need to watch that next. So click on that video next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.